Welcome y'all. Welcome back to the Techness Corner. We've got a United in Tech podcast number 3 production today, people. So let's get started. Let's see what's fresh off the press. Let's go, people. Now, to cut a long story short, our co-host is unavailable for the near to distant future, work commitments aside and whatnot. So I'm going to be your host, your co-host, and everything else in between. So forgive me if some of the news is rushed. Some of it has to be referenced a lot more proficiently and prevalently. So in the description below, you will find all reference material and links associated as such, including links to my own articles that we're going to stumble across in today's podcast number 3 of United in Tech, people. Welcome all. Come in, grab yourselves a cuppa. We got the news for the week ahead of us and what's been happening in PC related space per se. So let's get stuck right on in. So United in Tech, today's headings, be it at May, I don't know if that's actually a sentence, is crypto be hacking, people. Crypto be hacking. We shall get to this. Windows 11 negs, but that's good a thing, okay? 3090 Ti is launched, sort of. Yeah. Intel stock cooler improvements, genius idea. Hopefully it maybe filters through. Enough said on that topic already, I think. But PC case spotlight and highlight. So some of the cases that perhaps are a bit more budget orientated now because of yesteryear, literally yesteryear. And it's just an article I did earlier this month, which I thought we could showcase some PC cases that might be worth building in now that the price is probably right. But leading us to crypto be hacking, people, and our first story of the day, hot off the presses, a whopping US 615 million, Australian 818 million has been stolen in the second largest ever theft of cryptocurrency to date. The Ronin Network, a project that powers the popular mobile game XE Infinity, noticed the hack 6 days after it occurred. On March 23rd, a hacker transferred 173,600 worth of Ether tokens and 25.5 million USD coin tokens out of the Ronin network. The crypto company realized something was seriously wrong when a customer complained on Tuesday local time that they couldn't access any of their funds. When the cyber attack occurred, the hacker made off with US 540 million. That's Australian 718 million. Since then, Ethereum and USD coin has gone up slightly in value. I don't know how USD coin has gone up in value, frankly. Meaning the haul is now worth US 615 million or Australian 818 million. Just past 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time Thursday, Ronin provided an update to its thousands of customers, revealing they had not yet recovered the money, but were working hard to do so. So there's a tweet out there. Our Ronin Substack has been updated with additional information. We are in the process of conducting a thorough investigation, working with @Chain Analysis to monitor the stolen funds and @CrowdStrike to handle forensics. So these people are you can suss them out, and these are the people who are hunting down your money, and all their information is there as well, so that you can circumnavigate that in case you wish. The US 540 million, Australian 718 million heist makes this the second largest crypto theft on record, according to blockchain analysis firm Elliptic. So yeah, guys, massive in the crypto world. You'd have to really consider the fact that you've got yourselves investments in portfolios and how this is going about. This is just playing by, here you go, government, to oversee so that our investments are much more secure. Sort of analogy being henceforth here potentially, going to be brought up because of these indirect hackings and whatnot, where other people may think it's, for their own genuine reasons. They don't realize that they're causing this ruckus to continue and to circle and to end up being decentralized or centralized, should I say, rather than a decentralized currency, which is what cryptocurrencies were meant to be to begin with. So enough said on that topic, guys. I'll let you guys get into us, but it leads us into Windows 11 negs, but that's a good thing, okay, guys? So Microsoft has quietly walked back a change pushed out with Windows 11 that caused anger and frustration among a large section of users. With the latest Windows 11 update, which is currently in the process of rolling out, changing the operating system's default web browser is as simple as a single button press now, people. It's a single button press now, so you have to stop complaining. The new system is a far cry from the previous arrangement, which required users to manually register their browser's preference for each and every file extension. You remember that, Windows 11, HTML, HTM, PDF, and so forth. In addition to deliberately making it harder to change the default web browser in Windows 11, Microsoft also took steps to funnel all links housed within its own products, e.g. the start menu into Edge, no matter which browser was recorded as the preferred option. Asses. Given the size of the Windows install base, you'd think efforts of this kind would have a dramatic effect on the Microsoft Edge market share, but in reality the browser has still struggled to make up ground on Chrome or Safari, which hold a combined 82% of the market, the latest data suggests. So that's the thing, guys. Microsoft just came on too hard with Edge, I think. If they left it there as a genuine alternative that's ready to be used and sourced by anyone who needs an additional browser, then perhaps they wouldn't have got the backlash. But the way they played it out, and that's why they're negging, guys. But that's a good thing, guys. They're fixing their mistakes. They're listening. They're making it much more user-friendly. They got wallpapers, for God's sake. Wallpapers. Moving wallpapers and pictures, which came up after all my custom settings got scrapped so that they could show it off for me. But thank you, Microsoft. I had to reinitiate those. But that's great, the feature, because it actually is really immersive. It's really nice and crisp and looks really nice like that. So that is Windows 11 negs, but it's a good thing, people. Now that leads us to the topic at hand, which is for PC related tech enthusiasts more so, and or, you know, people who want a Titan X sort of card or something like that. This 3090 Ti is launched. Well, sort of. Okay, so 18 months after the initial release of the 3090, do we have a new king? Well, like I say, sort of, people, sort of. Since there is no Founders Edition of the GeForce RTX 3090 Ti featured, more importantly pictured for you wonderful folk, is the GeForce RTX Supreme 3090 Ti produced by AIB partner MSI. This is clearly at moment the largest of the 3090 Ti GPUs available, coming in at 2145 grams, while it measures 305 millimeters long and 140 millimeters tall. But at 71 millimeters wide, it will just look at it. Look how wide it is. Going back a couple of slides, at at 71 millimeters wide, it will be borderline already vertically mounted GPU. Jokes aside, people, as this last width signifies the card's 4 slots wide on the horizontal axis, and that's the general way of installing the card. Like, you just plug it in and it's 4 slots wide, okay? Meaning good luck having access to any additional ports on your ADX motherboard that you shelled out on, although luckily all these have nowadays been taken up via NVMe slots integrated into the chipset motherboard itself. For cooling purposes, the upgraded memory of the 3090 Ti has been all moved to the top side of the GPU, and I've got a comparison chart here just with the CUDA cores and base clock, boost clocks, memory, GDR6, what you get and what you don't amongst the top tier of the RTX lineup. Coming back to it, for cooling purposes, the upgraded memory of the 3090 Ti has all been moved to the top side of a GPU, as now it's all 2GB modules containing 12 modules topside rather than 24 of 1GB modules that were on its predecessor, the 3090 standard, both front and back, meaning that cooling the memory is taken care of via the top side fans, while heatsink is still quite established bottom side of the GPU, with a widely agreed ample amount of cooling pads dissipating heat throughout the sink itself, backside of the 3090 Ti. Without showing you guys the numbers, since I personally can't suite and test these cards for you, I suggest going through some of Hardware Unboxed material if you guys are interested in performance based per game, Gamers Nexus, or perhaps Jay's 2 cents most recent upload. But in a nutshell, it costs about 25% more, what is at best around 10% more performance. Best case scenarios, guys, while in turn managing to suck down in accomplishing these gains almost 30% more power, while for heaven's sake it's already sold out everywhere as well. Pointless pertaining to price, guys? Question mark, you be the judge. After all, you guys are all the consumers along with me, but yes, I think there is enough said here as well. Which leads us into an Intel stock cooler improvements. Genius. So guys, this is something interesting that's occurred. An enterprising user has modded, known as Patrick, we'll give him a shout out in a second's time, his full name and whatnot, identity, get him sprawled all over the internet. An enterprising user has modded the stock cooler that comes with the Core i5-12400 to run quieter using nothing more than a sheet of paper and some tape. Not only that, but Patrick Bean has detailed his experience in a blog, experimenting with different paper heights to show why he settled on the optimal 1.7 inches. Ripper stuff, people. The driving force behind the mod was not to improve the cooling, but rather to address the amount of noise produced. The stock cooler is indeed a bit of a noisy beast under load, and on his blog, I believe there is the option for hearing the stock cooler at play and then listening to it after the mod, and it's noticeably quieter. What he had to fix was the temperature gains that he got from it, but we'll get to this in a second because this is Ripper stuff. The driving force behind the mod was not improved for cooling, but rather to address the amount of noise produced. The stock cooler is indeed a bit of a noisy beast under load. After some experimentation, Patrick discovered that a 1-inch cowl reduced the noise levels the most, coming in 8 decibel quieter than the stock cooler. Definitely noticeable. Unfortunately, that did see the max CPU temperature increase to 85 Celsius after some more paper cutting, with cowls up to 3 inches tall. He set it on the optimal 1.7 inch cowl. This produced the same cooling as the stock fan at 80 Celsius under load, while also reducing noise levels by 6 decibel. One potential side effect of this is that the VRMs around the CPU may have reduced airflow and so could potentially run hotter, although at stock clocks this probably isn't a major problem. There is still plenty of airflow around the bottom of the cooler too, so it should be fine. It's something worth checking if you're thinking of modding your own Intel cooler though. It's impressive work either way. Okay guys, either way it's an impressive work. Enough for anyone to do themselves. The best kind of mod, frankly. You could argue that you'll get much better cooling and noise levels from a third-party cooler, and you'd be right. But if you're on a tight budget, this seems like a reasonable solution to the problem, and one that shouldn't cost you a pretty penny. Now, look, you have to understand that a pretty penny put aside or not, this could be very simply, if we go back, implemented by Intel in their design frame, and not using in this case not using cardboard and whatnot and other things like that, paper, but actually using proper thermal conductive materials such as the aluminium and the copper, then it would definitely be much more effective, and in cooling wise as well, potentially also. So, because certain heat would be caught up in this. I'm surprised it just doesn't go and is actually louder still. Like, is this April Fool's or is this April Fool's? But it's not. It's legitimate, and it's been reported on thus as such. So it's impressive bit of work by Patrick Bean, and he's you can find this blog or the blog at pubbygame.com/papermod.html, and it'll take you directly there where you can hear those comparison audio sample files as well. But that leads us into, if you guys are after one of the pedigree coolers, you're looking for an AIO cooler, the Z73 range by Kraken, by NZXT, and the Kraken range, thus such, has for the last couple of years been at the pinnacle of AIOs, regardless of the LCD comparison to other AIOs that have recently emerged. But cooling wise, very strong as AIOs they are. And myself at the Techness Corner, I've done a real short, because we did an extended video coverage of the review of and the unboxing of this cooler, because we had to replace our ML360 Sub-Zero sub-ambient tech cooler. It had to go, unfortunately, and put something a bit more conventional on the 10900K system. So check that out, guys. So the new cooler, people, finally has arrived and has been installed. For the full video, check out the Techness Corner and the NZXT Kraken Z73 cooler. For the time being, let's showcase our new Techness Corner and how it's operational. And have a closer look at our good old cooler. The NZXT Kraken Z73. Bit of LCD burn-in. And she's quiet. Alright, so enough said. She's pretty quiet. That was running pretty much at full pelt as well at times during that. So the fact that you couldn't really hear it, impressive. Got a nice display, and the full review, check it out. It's linked in the description below as well if you guys are interested. And it's more an unboxing. I do a pure unboxings. I do reviews as well. I do overviews. It's a review/overview unboxing all in one. Not with the installation, but installation tips and or tricks / the proper way to do it is linked in the description of the unboxing itself by NZXT themselves. So get it from the horse's mouth. Best way to go about it, guys, and that way you definitely won't go wrong, or you can hold them sort of accountable, can't you? So that leads us into our last topic, which is PC case spotlight and highlight. Look, there have been 3 PC cases from 2021 that deserve a second glance. Okay, guys. So here's 1, 2, various different shots of each and every other one. Here's a third one. That's your Be Quiet one. That's your Corsa one to the left. And to your right is your Fractal, one of the Meshify, which we'll get into. This is an article I wrote into the Techness Corner Facebook page, which is also linked in the description below if you guys are interested. Welcome to join and or like or follow. Due to newer PC, that's where I'm more inclined to discuss things with people pertaining to videos, which are linked in from the Techness Corner on YouTube. But due to newer PC case designs always flooding the market, generally from manufacturers every 6 to 12 months, you'll be hell-bent on choice pertaining to these newer options that is always fun wading through. Although I have to suggest, if the newest and greatest is not at the forefront of one's mind, then a pretty penny can be saved on PC cases that at times are yet to hit a year since initial release, as a new flock arrives from our PC housing pleasures, or for our PC housing pleasures, should I say. 3 prime examples of only yesteryear's PC cases that one might consider now while the prices are right would be the Corsa 5000X or 5000D, Be Quiet, which is to the left just here, Be Quiet Silent Bass 802, pictured in the graph, which is in relevance to the Corsa 500X, and the fractal design Meshify S2, which looks godly just there. Many have been opting for Corsa's range, but if a few extra bucks saved, perhaps going to CPU upgrade, etc. can be had, but I have a couple of further viable options, even though not matching in price. Both match in theme and generally style while having superior airflow on a comparison to the Corsa 500X option listed and pictured first. The Corsa 500X can be had for 269 Australian dollars as of printing currently, while both other alternatives are cheaper, but only in price, as build quality is extremely comparable. Perhaps even the more superior cases in my mind can be had for upwards of 70 Australian dollars less. While if a black variant of the Fractal Meshify S2 was sought, then 100 Australian dollars would be saved if inclined in thinking about CPU health and thermals associated as such. Just a consideration when going about your next PC case purchase, and don't forget to check out the Techness Corner YouTube channel also, okay, because we do tech stuff here, people. No one should limit us in the realm of possibilities. We can all play a part in innovation pressing forward, okay? So remember that's something to take home. You know, big thoughts. My mama used to always say, big thoughts, people, not big words. So if we have a look at the imagery to our left, or to your left and my right, we've got the Be Quiet 802 mesh panels at 110 RPM with the same setup inside the case. It's cooling that CPU to 82 standard with the 88 on the 5000X. Now, as you can see, the 5000X has an inhibitance, regardless of the RGB bling and the case fans that you get. It's the front of it just needs to be opened up. It's as simple as that. They just need to have an additional tray available for it, and I find that the tray looks a bit tacky on the 5000D, which is available for it, but you don't get to the 5000X as an option. They're considering bringing it in as an option, so that's something to look out for if you're inclined with the Corsa. But my pick of the crop is probably the Fractal Design Meshify S2, pictured bottom to the right. It just looks vicious. I've actually had one of these next to me. So beautiful and easy to build in for your first build, for example. They're just under 200 Australian dollars. The white, the black, even less. So it's something to consider, guys, which leads us into... Thank you for joining United in Tech podcast number 3, people. Unfortunately, Stewie D is not with us again. Hopefully, shout outs to him that he'll be with us in the near future. Hopefully, I'll have someone else to bounce some ideas off. There is also a relevant SKU of GPUs being just released that's hot and fresh off the press by AMD. Something to look out for. It's more laptop based, not PC based. So if you guys are inclined for higher efficiency GPUs, which stellar performance gains as well, then these GPUs are being released by AMD in the very, very near future in your gaming laptops as well. So my name is Seb Lukas. Thanks for joining us in Uniting Tech podcast number 3. Peace out, y'all. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.